That's why you felt like attracted to martial arts from the young age.
Yeah, I want you to master the body movement. Remove body movement, smash. So the person is coming there and lock in. Boom. Lock, roll. Okay? Boom. Right? Because when you're young and you get into martial art, it's just that physicalness you want to be doing everything, right? I had that skills already.
Natural ability.
Natural ability. So he says, I want you to master the body movement. I think I was too serious. You know what I mean? And being too serious is kind of rigid, right? Rin. Hai. To. Sha. Kai. Jin. Ritsu. Zen. Okay. Now you can turn it off.
Hey guys, today I have a very special guest and my friend Peter, aka Ninja, and I feel super honored and privileged that I have this opportunity to learn and pick your brain from somebody who's been doing this Japanese martial arts for almost 40 years.
Yep.
And it's called Ninjutsu. So yeah, I'm super honored and thank you for your time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Pete, for having me here. It's a pleasure, you know.
Thank you. Guys, make sure you stick around all the way to the end to see 3 ninjutsu techniques. You don't want to miss this, so make sure you stick around all the way to the end.
Make sure.
Alright, so the first question will be, when did you start practicing and why ninjutsu?
Okay, so I'm gonna take you way back, Peter. So my martial arts training began since the age of 5. So back in my country, I'll give you a little deeper emphasis there. Like I was born in Guyana, and my uncle actually was one of the bodyguards trainer for the president. So he used to train a lot of people in the botanical garden. Okay. So a lot of his bodyguards, the president bodyguards, used to teach. So I was, you know, his nephews. He says, come and watch me train. So I used to sit down there and watch him train, and then he would teach me afterwards, you know what I mean, to learn Shotokan karate.
Right.
So having learned what I learned from him, I took that to the next level and I got into gymnastics, so to speak, which is tumbling. And with that skills, you know what I mean, I wanted to learn more. All right, so I actually came to Canada when I was like 11 years old, and then I actually bugged my mom, said, hey mom, can you actually get me into some martial art training? But I see there was one guy who was training in Ninjutsu. So I said, okay, you know what? This guy knows everything about weaponry, hand-to-hand combat, and there was a lot of gymnastic involved also. So I wanted to be involved in all that sort of stuff. So she took me down, and I got to the door, and she saw like people flying through the air because this guy was throwing people around. And so she goes, you sure you want to get into this sort of thing? So I says, yeah, I think so. So she got me signed up, and that was it. It was history. From there, I began my training.
That's incredible. So at this point, you were already training karate for like 5-6 years, right?
Exactly. So it was something that I really loved. It was a natural thing to me because, you know, everybody grew up and they watch you know, the Bruce Lee shows and whatnot. And my mom was a big fan of Bruce Lee, so she used to take me to the theaters, and I would be sitting there in front of the seats, and I'd be watching, glued to the seats, right? And I'm taking in the techniques and the kicks and the punches. So, you know, with all that sort of stuff, I wanted to actually get in there and know how to defend myself when I become, you know, an older person and going to school and all that sort of stuff. Because, you know, there was so much bullies in school also. So I wanted to be that rounded guy when I actually started growing up, right? So that's one of my big punches to get to that why, you know what I mean, to learn and to be confident and to be brave anywhere I go in the world.
Yeah.
And from there, I just took it to the next level.
That's awesome. I think like there were very many schools or gyms you could train ninjutsu, right, back then.
Yeah.
Even now, when you check online, there's not many
Very small
many
classes.
many available schools or gyms where you can train this.
Exactly.
So must have been very difficult to find
Yes.
some spots.
Very, very difficult. That was one of the only school was available back then when I started, and we had to travel the world, so to speak, went to Japan, the States, and further educational training over there too. So it was really, really good, and I was surprised when I was abroad in Japan itself because the students over there studying with different masters, they were actually putting their knuckles into the trees like an inch in, right? And that was powerful to me. And when I see that, that is something that I wanted to do. And training with them, the teachers over there was very impressed. They says, wow, you have a natural thing for martial arts. So I said, continue. So I progressed very fast and obtained my levels there. Yeah.
Since I feel like it's not so well known martial art here in Canada or even maybe the US, more in Japan, what do you think is the biggest misconception about ninjutsu? And I hear people making fun of it,
Right.
They see the bomb thrown in front of you
Right.
and you disappear. So what do you think is the biggest misconception about ninjutsu?
The biggest thing I think people don't understand, most of these things were used back in the days, the feudal days of Japan. A lot of these people were just normal farmers, but then they become people that was trained professionally to do different jobs for the government. So they were very equipped naturally in many different ways and learning different things to do as a human being, what you call like superhuman kind of thing. Because it's just like the CIA or the KGB, you have special tools to do special jobs. So when people don't understand certain things, of course, they would always say, oh, this is just a fad or joke or something like that. But it was real, you know what I mean? Learning to do these things takes many years and takes a lot of study behind it. That's it.
And like I said, guys, make sure you watch to the end so you'll see these techniques. This is for real. This is no joke.
That's it.
So when I was interested to learn what's your why, like for life, or why did you? Sorry, your uncle he was protecting president. You said.
Yeah, he was one of the bodyguards trainer over there.
So
He
that's why you felt like attracted to martial arts from the young age.
Yeah, big pull in there.
Big pull in there.
Yeah.
So
That's
that was your main why you wanted to start training, practicing martial arts,
yes.
and then take it to the
next level.
the next level, right?
Exactly. Because just being confident in self, right, in life, like anywhere you go, right, knowing that you could take care of yourself, and that is something that it's priceless. You know what I mean? Because on the streets by yourself, we worry if something is going to happen, right? And same thing with guys. It could happen to the guys, right? Because guys get beat up, mugged, bullied, you know what I mean? And if you can't protect yourself, then how would you feel?
Yeah.
Right? So that is one thing that I wanted to do, was always be just a modest guy, but I could always take care of myself anywhere I go. And that's why I do it too.
I know you mentioned some like story that you got into trouble. You were worried for somebody that's actually attacked you or something, and you defended yourself, and then ended up really bad for the guy. I don't know if you were okay to
Yeah,
briefly talk about.
I'll tell you some stories. You know what I mean? I used to do security for a club, and I used to work inside of the club. So one day there was one of the guys working outside, one of the other security guys, and something displayed outside there, but I didn't know what it was. I was inside. So the individual went into the washroom, and I came out to cover him, and I was standing by the front door. So whatever happened, the person went out of the club, left the building, came back, and was coming in with vengeance. And I'm just standing there. I didn't know what was going on, but I just observed an individual coming by, and he looks very aggressive, and he's walking towards the door. So I was standing there as much as my time now, protecting the door. So the individual came, and I says, can I have some IDs? By the time I said that, the individual pulled out a beer bottle and just whip it at my head. So natural instincts, I just went underneath, and he got, boom, straight to the chin, and more techniques came in, and he was out whole for like 3 months in a coma. So that was kind of scary in a sense, because, you know what I mean, I didn't want to touch the guy, but it was a situation that, you know what I mean, automatically came, right? And I felt bad at the time, but at the same time it was automatic, right? And he got hurt, and he slept in a coma for 3 months. So it was a scary thing, you know what I mean? And I spoke to him afterwards, and he apologized. But it was one of those things when you actually going through it, it's kind of scary. Yeah.
So it must be always in the back of your mind now when
All the
something
time.
is about to happen, you feel like
Should I?
you
You know what I mean?
remember back, right?
Exactly, because I don't want to put any more, how should I say, forced technique, because someone could get, you know, badly hurt. But at the same time, when you're in the world, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's a scary place. So you take your time, and you try to avoid as much things as possible. And that's one of the biggest techniques in Ninjutsu. They teach you how to avoid certain, you know, situation, right? So you always evade stuff, right? And it's a good technique everybody should learn to avoid any problems, because once you get into a problem, it's hard to get out of the problem. Right? It's like a cobweb, right? So you have to be careful, you know what I mean, what you're doing. But if your back is against the wall, then you have to do what you have to do. You gotta protect yourself, you gotta protect your family, and you know, you do what you have to do, right? And that's it.
What's your daily practice like?
My daily practice is early in the morning. You get up, do a meditation, and do sit-ups, push-ups, techniques, and all the different stuff that you do know from you know, your training. You go through as much as possible within a short period of time, and release your stress and energy. And always keep a calm head if you can at any moment, right? It's like mastering yourself, which is so difficult.
Yeah, I always know you're smiling all the time. You're generally a happy man. You know, it's very difficult these days to see people smiling just
Absolutely.
you know, without any specific reason. So
That's
I'm
right.
sure this side of, you know, like spiritual life you live helps you keep grounded, right?
Absolutely.
So is there any specific kind of meditation you practice, or is it just?
Pete, you know what I do? I try to tell people, if you could find a spot somewhere, doesn't matter where, in your house, outside, at the beach, and just sit there, right? And let your mind go clear, right? Just stare, even if it's the water, just stare and listen to the wave come in. It's therapeutic for your mind, releasing a lot of negative energy and bringing in positive energy, right? So for me, like when I do my meditation, I sit there and try to clear my mind from any negative things and release my mind and take it anywhere I want to take it. This is, if you lock a man in a room and you let his mind go free, then he's actually free. But if you lock a man in a room and his mind just thinks about the room, then he's actually captive.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing that people don't understand, right? So once you could release your mind out of that room and let it soar outside to many places in the world, your imagination flow, then you're free anywhere you go.
Where do you get your motivation? Do you have any favorite books you could recommend our viewers or listeners, or any movies that really enriched you, like in this kind of, you know, way that helped you a lot with the mindset? And
Absolutely. Looking at you, Pete, you know, you're a great person in the entrepreneur area. Books that I did read before, Think and Grow Rich is one of them. I would highly recommend it for someone. And if you could get your hand on a copy anywhere it's widely spread, it's a book that could take your imagination so far if you read it over and over. Next one that I have that is really good too is The Alchemist. which it's a nice book that you could get into.
I never actually read this one, but I was thinking last few weeks that I have to get this book because it's been mentioned to me from side,
Yes.
different angles, different sides, and it's like I feel like it's a sign for me that I should really get my hands on this book too.
Exactly.
Pablo Coelho, right?
Yes.
Alchemist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a really good book. So get your hands on these books, and if you get an opportunity to read them, read them. They're great. They're great.
Any movies that
Movies.
helped you, or I know you don't really have
Yeah.
much time. Like me neither. I don't really watch any TV shows, or I just consider it like waste of time.
Right.
To me, I would rather do something physical rather than just sit on the couch and watch TV.
Yes.
So do you have anything movie that really stuck in your memory?
You know what? I like The Vikings.
Mhm.
The Vikings is a movie I think everyone should watch. Just don't watch it for just the plunger and the violence in it, but it brings you back to reality, where the primitive time, what you had to do to conquer a place, or create freedom for your people, or whatever it is, right? They say when you actually want freedom, you got to give everything.
Yeah.
So when you actually look at it, you see that they gave everything. They were willing to die, even if it cost them going to the next place that they don't even know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they wanted that freedom, that space to do whatever they want to do, right? So I think for people, if you actually watch that movie and think deeper, just go beyond all the the plunger and the violence and whatnot, but think about the story behind it. It's something that when you're fighting for freedom,
Yeah.
just to be free, you give everything, because the next generation, which is your family or the generation beyond, you have to make them free. And if you don't, it's going to be the same thing. You know what I mean?
Burden on your
Exactly.
family, yeah, for sure. For me, when you mentioned freedom, my most two favorite movies are Patriot,
Right.
way back, Patriot, both of them with Mel Gibson, and Braveheart.
Yes.
These two
Those
movies
are
are
nice.
like all-time favorites, and I
They're
don't really
beautiful.
watch many movies, like whatever is most recent ones, but these like got stuck in my mind, for forever, I guess. William Wallace.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah. So, what was the most difficult thing you learned in Ninjutsu, or is there any specific move that you really struggled to learn, or it took you longer than anything else, or? I know everything takes practice, so you have to just keep practicing and drilling to get better at anything we do, but is there anything that you remember that you struggled most with when it comes to Ninjutsu?
Absolutely, Pete. I think the biggest thing for me was learning body movements. Body movements was it was the most difficult thing in a sense, because I stayed in that training position with that technique for like 3 months, and it frustrated me because I wanted to know, why am I still learning body movements? And body movements was the key to everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it at that time. I just wanted to get in there and just rough with the guys them and do all the different stuff. So the teacher saw that I had all that skills already. So he says, I want you to master the body movements. When you master the body movements, then you'll be triple time above. So I looked at him and I goes, is he kidding me or something like that? But he saw, what I was missing. And he wanted to give me that key, right? So, which was the body movement, which is you call it the void, right? The void is actually the whole thing to master, yourself, right? Because when you're young and you get into martial art, it's just that physicalness you want to be doing everything, right?
Competition.
Yeah, right? So, he says, no, you have to learn the body movements. Once you learn the body movements, then you learn the openness of void. And the openness of void, it's a whole new level, right? It's like going into black space, right? And to find the next dimension, you have to go to the black hole, right? So it's a bigger level that he was putting me on. But at the time, I didn't know, right? Because I was just struggling with I want to go with the guys them and train and do all this other stuff, but he's already see like I had that skills already.
Natural ability.
Natural ability. So he says, I want you to master the body movement.
Mhm.
So he locked me into certain areas, and I just had to practice for 3 months body movements, which is voiding.
Mhm.
Avoiding being hit, avoiding being, you know what I mean? Getting into trouble with anything that is possible, right? So,
Yeah. Like
That was
Bruce
the
Lee,
biggest
like
thing.
Bruce Lee once said, "Be water, my friend. Be water."
Absolutely.
Yeah? So that's the
Absolutely.
part of it.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So, is there anything you would advise your younger self? Is there anything you would, see in yourself now? I know, like everybody would wish to be younger with this
Right.
mindset and like this wisdom, right? We have now. Once we get to certain age or point of life, is there anything you would advise your younger self?
Absolutely. You know what? When I was younger, I think I was too serious. You know what I mean? And being too serious is kind of rigid, right?
Mhm.
So as I look back, you know what I mean? I says, okay, there's good points to it, but then again, it's like, you know what I mean? A whole lot of bad points to it. Because I was so laser to my ways, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to, accomplish things and go through the wall, whatever, and nothing will stop me.
Mhm.
But, having learned, you know what I mean, during the years of so many different things, doing, seeing, meeting people, whatever it is, you learn to be more flexible,
Mhm.
right? So you become, like you just says, like Brucey says, be like water,
Mhm.
right? So this way you could go anywhere, float anywhere, and adapt, right? Adaptation is the most, most serious thing in the world, that if you don't have it, you know what I mean, it could be life or death.
Mhm.
So it's just like you come into a new country, you have to learn how to adapt to that system, that whole environment, and everything. So you always have to be that flexible now, right? You can't be too rigid. Because you're rigid, you will break, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not gonna match up to what you want, and then you're gonna think, okay, if this is not my ways, it's not gonna work, right?
Mhm.
But it could work for you as long as you know how to be flexible and go around certain things. It will work out.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
one
I
of the biggest
absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The quote that I recently discovered really resonated with me. It's expect nothing and accept everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I feel like this is huge
Absolutely.
for happy life, right? If you
Yeah.
Because we always have some expectation, and if it doesn't go that way, then we are disappointed.
Yes.
So, is there any quote that you have, like favorite quote or something that really resonated with you or you remember?
What I look for in life, or the quote that they would say, always keep your glass half empty. Always willing to learn.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how old you are or young you are, but always willing to learn. So keep your glass half empty,
Mhm.
right? Not empty, not too full, just half empty.
Mhm.
This way you could always add knowledge, right? Keep learning.
Mhm.
Once you keep learning, that expands you all the time, because life is about learning,
Mhm.
right? We are all teachers with each other, and that's how we learn stuff, right? This doctor will teach the next doctor something. You as a martial artist will teach me something. I will teach you something. A photographer will teach the next photographer something, and it goes on and on and on. So we have to remember, to always keep that glass half empty,
Mhm.
and that's one major key to life.
And share the wisdom, share the knowledge.
Absolutely,
Right?
share it.
Is there anything like any big plans or anything exciting you have coming up for the near future?
I think, Pete, what I'm gonna do, I've been holding back a very long time with certain things. So you'll see some things coming out. Pete will have my website, and I will tell you my website also. And
Yeah.
eventually, when it actually comes out, you're gonna, go check it out. And there'll be some things there that you could actually get into and learn.
Mhm.
Because I'll be doing a lot of virtual stuff.
Okay.
So I'll be doing some things.
I'll be more than happy to promote it for you, and
Thank you.
so our viewers can get in touch with Peter himself or through me. It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
So look out for MMA, ninjaacademy.com. And Peter is my family. He will literally get you in contact with me. Without him, you can't meet me.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. So I wanted to say that I'm really grateful being able to call you my friend, and I had opportunity to be in your circle. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to learn anything from Ninjutsu. And I wanted to ask you if there is anything that you would recommend our viewers or listeners to go and check out in the meantime while you put up your site and while it's ready to go. Is there anywhere or anything you would recommend people to go and check out if they're living here in Toronto, Canada, or anywhere in the area, anywhere in the world? What should they do to learn more about Ninjutsu, or how should they approach it?
Well, this is the thing. Assess yourself, because each martial arts would be trained to a certain body type, and there's no such thing as the best martial art, but the person has to develop themselves to make themselves the best martial artist.
Well-rounded.
Exactly, well-rounded martial art. So when you see an athlete actually, push himself to the next level, let's take Michael Jordan for example. These guys would get up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then they would train, over and over, that extra shot. Everybody would go home, and this person's still practicing, right? That's the person that will actually, show you what it takes to be the better person inside that game. So it's the same thing, right? If you push yourself hard enough in any martial arts, right, as long as it fits your body texture and type and, whatever it could do for you, and don't stop there. Like, there's so many martial arts, just adapt. See if you could get a piece from this, a piece from that, and a piece from that, and then combine it and make it work for you, right? Don't just get stuck to one thing and says, I would love to do the hard, but I can't do this because maybe I'm a little bit heavy set, or I'm too skinny, or I'm too this. Don't say that. Take a little bit from each and every different art that you can, and then combine it together. And then you can make yourself a complete martial artist. You're not stuck in one area, right? So if you could use that up and use the knowledge, because it's a science, right? It's a science that's going on and on and on and on and on, and it's going to keep getting better and better and better. And if you could actually make it better too, and add to it, the world even get bigger and better with it, right? Things to do in Toronto when it comes to different martial art. If you could actually find something along the the Taijutsu area or Tai Chi, just to break in, that feeling of learning the different flow of energy. And then you want to move into a different technique. That would be my advice or suggestion to anybody, right? Because I know we all like to start aggressively as young guys getting into stuff. But if you could get into Tai Chi and just learn the flow of the energy, and then from there, get into different arts. Because now you're going to learn, okay, it's not all about strength and power and this and that, but it's a flow of energy. You give me something, I'm going to take it, and I could do damage with it, or I could observe it and do whatever I want with it. So if you want to start with something, say in Toronto or whatever it is, I would say, look for a good Tai Chi master and just learn something from them, because it's more of a humble kind of martial art, but also there's a lot of power in it, just like any art.
Okay, cool. Is there anything you would like to say at the end so we can wrap it up? Is there anything you would like to say to our viewers and listeners?
Absolutely. Guys, see Peter here? Peter's a leader. And I want you to follow this guy every single word, because he has big things coming to him, okay? And I just want to say thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Ninja,
for having me here. And it's been a pleasure to come here and have the time to share with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I wish you all the best.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Smash.
Okay.
This one already, when you go there,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm gonna let go of your...
Exactly. Right, because when you actually apply it, when you actually go in, it's a dominant technique. Like, you could come right into the person and just lock him down there. It's a wall, escapes, up, really move. Okay. And so this technique is basically someone pushing you up against the wall, and you have to escape from it, right? So we're gonna use the body movement technique to remove ourselves from the danger, okay? So, up, remove, body movement, smash, okay?
I actually smashed my head.
To the wall a little bit. Second techniques, this is a opponent grabbing you from behind, two hand, and normally he's waiting for his buddy to kick your ass in front. So you have to escape. So using the body movement technique is removing yourself from the danger, so the person is coming there, and lock in. Boom. Right? Double technique, the person is coming in front to do the damage. I have to remove myself from the damage and put him there. The next technique is if the individual throws a punch at you and you use your void technique to escape from it. Right side.
Right side first.
Good? Good. Good. So lock up. Right? So you want to avoid the whole thing. So throw them up, come around, back up, choke him out. Also, Peter, get me in a headlock.
Here? Is it on? So you just tapped me on my, yeah?
Yeah, good. Right?
So I'm
You
here.
got me here. In. Right? Lock, roll. Right? Boom.
Breaking arms, there's no really time to tap.
Exactly.
Fracture right away.
Exactly.
Broken arm.
Yeah. And these ones here, they're off the record, just for me and Pete and the camera. So watch these ones, right? So Peter grabs.
Here?
Yep. Watch it. Come in.
Oh, okay.
Here's Peter. He's in cruciating pain. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah.
That's like entanglement with your arms.
Exactly.
I'm used
Break
to
everything up. Everything goes. Right? I'll do it for you again. And this could be any position, Pete. Even if the person grabs you, you grab me.
Here.
Yep. Come over. Technique over. Release the hand. Snap it with the thumb. Lock in.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm tapping.
Okay.
I'm tapping in 1 second.
Right?
Okay.
Bunch of scums. In.
That's it, no?
Good job.
I feel like. Thank you guys again for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys learned something new and enjoy the video. Thank you.
I hope you guys had fun. Peter is the greatest, and I hope you learned something from those techniques, right? Those are some secret techniques. So take it away and learn something, all right? Follow Peter, all right? Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Pete, for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Pete. You too.